All right, let's get into it. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 59 of the Board Game Gateway podcast. My name is Neba, and I'm your host for this evening. We are joined on tonight's podcast by three lovely people. We have our two regular hosts, Mr. Damien.
Hello.
And Mr. Ralph.
Hi.
And this time we also have special guest, Mr. Joel.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, sir. It's lovely to have you here. Joel is going to be
Thanks for
joining
having
us. We'll be talking about why in a very quick second. If this is your first time listening to the Board Game Gateway podcast, we are your entryway into the world of board gaming, tabletop gaming, and fun times. On today's episode, whenever you happen to be listening to, we're going to be having an official review of, a recap of B3GD Winter 2024. Damien and I kind of talked about one of the games that we played, but we've decided to invite Joel onto this podcast as well because he is actually representing one of our major sponsors, Mega Mini Golf, from that event, so we'll get to that. And then we're also going to be having a chat about Pass the Party Food, which is the game you can see here on the table in front of us. This is our gateway game of the week. This is Pass the Party Food by Joey Games, and we're very excited to have a chat about this for some reason. But Joel, welcome. It's lovely to have you here.
Thanks for having me, man. It was good to get the message to say that you wanted to invite me down. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad I got it.
Well, we thought, I guess we all kind of thought, you were such a big part of the day of B3GD Winter 2024 that it would only be right to get you onto the podcast here as well. So, the biggest thanks that we have is for helping sponsor that event. And so for those of you who don't know, B3GD is the Board Game Gateway's game day, and we held that about a month ago now. It was actually just over
a month. Yeah,
it was a month ago now. So
it took that long to recover from it.
Oh God,
it was that busy of a day.
It was
a big day.
It was a massive day, but. Look,
I think we talked to each other the next day. I just think no,
because we finished the event and then we all went back and we just had a drink and we said goodnight to each other. And I think we talked until Tuesday because we were just like, oh, well, guys, we are done for the next couple of days. It was huge. But yeah, so you actually attended the first one, yes? Like you came to the first one.
I went to the first one. Early last year was it? Or?
No, it was early this year.
Early this year, man.
Yeah.
Time
mid-January this year.
And definitely we felt like it was a good game. It's a really good, strong, consistent community that comes to those games. Lots of families, young kids, and it was a really good time for a lot of the younger generation in Campbelltown and just everybody getting together as a community. So thought it was really nice, and we run a small business in Campbelltown that is looking at a similar demographic, and it just felt like it was the right thing to do. I play games with you guys personally every now and then at the MacArthur Board Games events, and I think it was just, you guys were going for a good cause and we wanted to be a part of it. So.
Yeah, definitely. I remember our game at Brass Birmingham actually just sent me recently, and that was a tough game because we had we taught the game to two new players, and then I remember Jared loaded up on beer, but thinking he could he loaded up on all the things he could sell. There was one beer on the table, and he thought he could use it and sell all the things at once, and I was like. Oh, but it was a fun game.
that's a rough sale in Brass Birmingham when you realise I want to sell all of this. Do you have the beer? No, no, I need the beer. Yeah, no, that's great. We've known each other for now quite a while because we have been part of you're part of the MacArthur Board Gaming community, which is great. But after our first game day and that, you decided to come on as a major sponsor, which we're super happy about. And look, tell us about your experience from the game day because, now you spent the first one playing games, but this one, not so much.
Yeah, so this one, obviously, if you didn't know, you would have probably seen me on the day if you were there. We sort of took the role of greeting everyone to come in. Look, it was a great day. We had, I think, close to 100 people there or something around that kind of number.
People.
Yeah, over 100 people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And a few extras like myself. I'm not included in those numbers as well. We were sort of floating around playing games.
Just under 100 people now.
No. Great. Now it's no longer triple digits.
No. But no, it was really good. Very inclusive event. I personally played games with probably 3 or 4 people under 12 to 13 years old, as well as other games with adults. And there was never an awkward moment. They were happy to play each other. It was very inviting overall. And no, it was just a really good time. I think what you guys are doing is really good for the community and bringing everybody together. It's awesome.
Oh well,
Thanks,
I didn't bring him on here just to G us up, but I am
and they generally didn't. But I'm gonna do it anyway.
That's pretty good.
And on a more business side of notes, you guys it was great to deal with. It was very quick responses. You were easy to talk to. When we had questions or anything we wanted to get taken care of, we were very quick to clear it up and work together. So, yeah.
There was quite a few things that we did this time that we learned from the last time as well that we held at game day. we got some feedback that we were on the microphone too much, the very first event.
Yeah.
Because we were announcing, this person got space base over there and they're looking for players. And
people just want to play games, man.
Yeah, but I think this time around, I kind of, we gave someone a game and we gave them a very large looking for players sign. And then I just sort of looked at the strugglers in the room and go, look, these people here are trying to play X-Men or something.
I had
way
one of
they
those,
went. You
I had
know?
one of those moments actually. I think when you were about to play El Grande, and there were, it wasn't you. It was Christian and one of the other boys were about to play El Grande, and had two guys walk in. I just kind of noticed and went, "You looking for a game?" It's like, yeah, like those guys over there have got 3 players, and they need 2 more to make that game great. Do you care what you play? No. All right, let's go and learn El Grande. I think you'll have a great time. And they ended up
Even myself, I found the same sort of thing. We had a mother and daughter they'd been looking at the board game library for what seemed like half an hour. It was probably more like 30 seconds.
We had over 160 games there. So,
they've been looking for long enough, they were sort of struggling, and then, you take them over, they're happy to talk to you, tried a new game, and it was good. Everybody had good times.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great. So, look, we talked about some of the games that we played last week. We had a really good game of the Estates. You two were also heavily involved in the Blood on the Clock Tower in the evening, which was great.
So I was surprised. So last time we got 1.5 games of Clock Tower. This time we had about 3. I think, did we have 4 games?
We had 3 games, consistently for 6 hours.
Yeah, simultaneous games, and they were all Trouble Brewing, the introductory script, and then later in the night there were all different scripts as well, so customs and SMV and so on.
I was super proud because we planned this one out specifically thinking, we knew we could at least get 2 games of Blood on the Clock Tower going, but we had 3 games going consistently.
And they were all like 10-player games.
From 6 o'clock, it was consistent. We had, look, it kind of took so many people away from the actual board games, but you guys kept playing from 6 o'clock through till quitting time at 11 o'clock. It didn't stop.
It was insane. We had another one probably 3 weeks after our event, and it was just another local game that I organized, but we had 3 games going from about probably we started at 7, but 3 games were running from 9 till about 12:30.
Wow.
At night. So the community is here for it, and I'm here for it.
That's awesome. That's really
awesome.
good.
Yeah, I know. For me, the highlight of the game day there were more families.
Yeah, there was a lot of families.
I know. So there's a gentleman by the name of Ben and his wife and his kids. I literally met them the day before. Turns out his daughter's the same year as my son, and we met them at a Father's Day stall that was happening at school the day before. Ran into just bumped into Ben, met him for the first time. Suggested he buy a family pass, and he said he was saying yeah, sure, is kid friendly. I said we are absolutely family friendly. In fact, that's
aiming out.
That is our MO. It's like we love it when the season gamers come out. We have an amazing community of hobbyist gamers, but we love it even more when families come out. Yes, it is a ton of work teaching games and such, and making sure that everyone's okay, but just getting to see families coming to the table, particularly families with young kids, and everyone is playing the same game and having the same amount of time around a table doing this one thing, is such a magical thing. And getting to see Ben and his wife and his kids there doing that was awesome.
I think I taught Ben and one game as well at one point, and then my daughter saw me. I think it was Llama. I just had Llama, the card game, and Genevieve, my daughter, who she's 7, saw them playing that. She saw me teaching me. She goes, "Dad, what are you teaching?" I go, "I'm teaching them Llama," and she goes, "Can I play?" And I went, "Guys, do you mind if she plays?" No. And then she goes, "I can teach them because I know how to play this game." And I went, "Okay, let's see." And my daughter, who's 7, literally taught them the rest of the rules, and they played a game of Llama whilst I wasn't. And then I went, "Okay," and I just let her go.
Actually, Damien's son also teach Azul to a group as well.
Yeah. Tried to. So for anyone who's listening who had Azul taught to them by an 8-year-old ADHD kid, I'm sorry. Look. Again, but it's also a reflection on the day that I was comfortable enough to bring my youngest along.
Yeah.
And he had a ball.
He
was helping out at the beginning. Look, to be fair, he helped out most of the day.
Yeah.
He was running around the camera, taking photos. He was jumping
out the tickets as well.
He was handing out tickets at one point. Raffle tickets.
Yeah, he was my right-hand man for a while.
Yeah.
He was a big help.
Yeah. So look, it's the sort of day that we promote. And I was really, it really did make me happy to see that, again, more families were coming out the second time around. And I hope that continues to grow.
We also enlisted a bunch more volunteers this time round. And I think personally, we all want to thank all of you. I think they all know who they are. They helped out immensely on the day as well.
There was a lot.
I had a lot of people busy, or we had a lot of people busy checking out games.
There's a lot.
At the laptop where people browse the library, they take it to a checkout for us, and I have some stats.
Oh, please!
That I would love to share with
Fantastic.
everyone. So in January was our very first game day, right? And we had about 150 board games there. This time around, we had over 160. And we even had people who came and added their games as well on the day to help out as well. But we had 83 checkouts last time of games. This time we had less people than we had in the January event, and we've checked out 112 games this time around. Wow. So that just shows me that people were more willing to try new games to them on the day. It could be partly because we were there actively teaching, and I felt like that waiter at the time where people were like, what's special on the menu? A little bit as well. So
I remember that there was a group that I specifically said this would be a really fun game because they wanted something relatively light, and I was Azul, and I was like, would you like me to teach you? Like, please. And so we sat down and had a good game.
I think we did do a better job of that this time. I know certainly I was talking to people more, and they were kind of looking and just asking them, so what games do you like to play? If they said, I don't know, I'd basically go to like the family friendly stuff.
Taco Cat. That's
play that one. You're going to love it. Like, it's just stuff like that. Or if someone said, I've played this game, like there was someone who said, I've played Terraforming Mars. And I think I want to say it was something like Ark Nova or something. It was Earth.
It was Earth.
Earth came out. Someone played Earth. Now, I don't know if it was the copy that we have in the library or if it's something, or it must have been someone else's copy. But I said, they're playing Earth.
Yeah.
Go over there.
Yeah.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
And that
so
sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like we did more of that this time around.
So our most checked out game, we should have this game as a gateway game one day. I don't think we've done it, but our most checked out game was the Fuzzies.
Nice.
Which is a very family friendly
It's the little
Jenga type game.
There it is. No one
There it is there. So
I believe it was my copy. It wouldn't be your copy.
I think we all have that.
I think we all have a copy.
It's such a good family game.
It's such a great family game. We should definitely gateway game or do a playthrough of that at some point. I'll be terrible. I got terrible hands. But our next most checked out game was actually a board game, like what we call a real board game.
Was it? No, was it Quest for El Dorado?
No, that's not even in the top.
Oh, I did see they get
20 or so.
Oh, jeez, oh no.
No, it was Res Arcana.
Oh.
So that got checked out 5 times on the day.
Nice.
Don't know if it got played 5 times. Maybe they checked it out, checked it back in, but it's quite a popular title.
I know I taught it, and
I taught it as well, actually.
To Nelson, and I've forgotten the
Carrie?
ladies. Carrie, yes, thank you. I want to apologize again. So
she was first in the door, by the way.
She was. Carrie was awesome.
She was there half an hour before
was gonna
the doors
say,
opened. She was very excited.
I want to apologize to both of them, and I want to apologize to anyone who tried to find me early on in the game day and I wasn't there. I started actually feeling pretty unwell early in the game day, and I basically just left for 2 hours and then came back. Advantages of being local, you can do that. So again,
I just assumed you were in a ditch.
I almost could have been, but no,
I didn't notice. No.
Yeah, even better. So apologize to everyone there, but yeah, look, we've all spoken about Res here. We all know how good that game is.
Yeah, I think Nee's played it recently as well.
I did. I just went on holiday for the past week, so that's why we had a week break from the previous holiday, the previous podcast. But I actually took Res Arcana up on holiday because I've said to my wife Georgie, I'm like,
so you just Res Arcana, you left family behind.
Yeah, just Res. That's
He
right.
took
I said
games.
So Georgie and I really enjoy playing like 2-player games here. Like she actually really enjoys Seven Wonders Duel. She really enjoys Splendid Duel. These kind of really tight.
You think she'll like Undaunted?
I don't know, actually, maybe.
The theme is too
I don't know, yeah, the World War II theme is really obtuse for her. But like, and that's the thing, that I knew I was taking a risk with Res, but I know that she likes games that you can play in 20 to 25 minutes, make you feel like you've got something really going on. But the challenge with Res, which everyone who's played it, is that you only have 10 cards and you have to make the best out of it, right? And it's like that threw me the very first time we played it. And I've talked about this before. But so I remember I played it with Georgie and I introduced it to her and I said, okay, here's the game. We explain the mechanics, all the symbology. It's really simple. She's kind of understanding it. And we start playing. We play with a beginner-friendly deck, so you've got similar sort of things. And I get out to this early lead, and I could see her face drop a little bit, like as in, oh, he's just winning, and he's going to smash
One of those
me.
times.
So, oh, God. And the thing is, she ended up winning the game. Because, in classic Res fashion, which is, it's not about how you start, it's how you get the engine going, and if you can then transfer all of your resources into stuff. And I had something going, but Georgie just found this combo that just worked so much better. And all of a sudden, she just went... bam, 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 just started ramping up and then just won the game. And then she ended up winning like 10-7 or something like that, right?
That's great.
But then she goes, oh, it's over. I think I won. And I went, oh, well done. Congratulations. Like, it was really well done. Like, I was actually trying to win and she actually got me. And I had that moment of, she went, oh, crap. I went, you like it, don't you? She goes, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I knew you would. And that's what Res Arcana was one of those perfect. I was actually a really good game because it only took 25 minutes to play.
That's really good.
It does take a little bit to get wrap your mind around it at the start, but once you get the game, once it starts flying, it's like, away we go. So, yeah.
So I'll just quickly go through our top 10 gaams, and I think that gives a good picture as to what the day was like.
Yeah, go for it.
As well. So we got the Fuzzies, Res Arcana, Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Ah, yeah, Quacks.
Bananagrams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza.
That one, I know I handed that one out.
Yeah.
Star Wars, the deck builder game. The 2-player.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Spots.
Yes. I did see Spots get played a lot.
Slamwich.
Yep.
Carcassonne and Lacuna.
Yes. That's the new
2-player.
The new 2-player abstracty one. Isn't it?
With the flowers and the...
Yeah, you played it.
I think I played that for the first time on the
What do you think of it? What do you think you say?
I think it was good. It was very, very quick and simple. It was a 30-second teach. We played it twice, and then we taught a mother and daughter to play it straight after us.
Oh, nice.
And then they taught a father and son to play it. So just none of them had read the rules.
It's kind of like a dominoes of a board game.
I will say, just speaking of families and stuff, I will say we did have people come as far as Canberra. Came all the way up from Canberra to our game day,
and some from Bondi. Which
we also had some from Bondi.
Yeah,
on the other side of Sydney. So we had people. So big shout out to the people who came all the way from Canberra because they were there for most of the day. There was 2 of them. But Laguna is the game where it's like basically it's a cloth mat and you basically pour the things out randomly onto the Game Boys. If I'm not mistaken.
I actually really liked the container. How the container for the game became like the shaker for the pieces as well. I don't know. It just felt pleasing for me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't fit in your pocket though, so
Yeah.
Nick out pants.
Oh, well.
But
So I don't know. Like if they bring back cargo pants though, I mean, it fits in multiple.
Next
pockets.
game they'll
Well, look, they've already brought the 90s like mid height socks back. They're all coming back. So cargo pants they're not far away.
So I think those top 10 games really paint a picture as to what the day was because we were really pushing people towards those family friendly games.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic to see that in the stats, them actually getting played.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
That's really good. Yeah. So anyway, that is a recap of our recap of B3GD.
I do want to say something really cool that I saw during the day, and I was ashamed I missed it.
Was it me getting the demon 4 times?
That was cool, but not unheard of.
It's a consistent thing for me.
I know. I don't know how you do it.
I'm about 80% success rate of being the demon. Not just evil team, the demon.
Wow. And then you play Clock Tower. That's the reason.
Yeah. I write it on my name tag now.
Yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, no, it was really cool. Like we raffled off a lot of prizes. We raffled off some Clock Tower specific prizes.
Yes, we did.
Thank you to everyone who donated prizes. I was at Let's Play Games. No, not Let's Play Games. Let's not play games.
No, it was...
it was the Pandemonium Institute that helped us out.
I also want to thank the Game Shelf, so Leo over there. And we also want to thank massive thanks to Johnny and his company Ethereal Grove for the dice tower. That dice tower was amazing,
dude. That was easily one of the best. He said, "Yeah, I'm just going to raffle this off," and I went, "Dude, that's really expensive to raffle off." Nice, so I want. I'm like, all right.
They're just essentially like 3D printed dice towers, but he spent the time to really dress them up.
Yeah, basically, for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, check out etherealgrove.com.au.
Absolutely.
Also, check out Johnny's Instagram handle. Look, we're gonna. We will add a link to it.
Another thing,
so you can go and check it out because his miniature painting, just his painting is brilliant.
Yes,
Yeah.
next level.
So definitely go check it out.
But it was really cool having Leo at the Game Shelf have a pop-up store as well. I feel like that added something to the day, so people can go and browse and buy a game that they just purchased that they just played on the day as well. I remember teaching Dune Imperium to a set of 4 new players, and they ended up picking it up as well.
Nice.
That was one of the Canberra. The Canberra couple.
And what I thought, I really wanted to get in on this, but at the time I think I was the only one available for like teaching games and helping out. But I really wanted to play that 10-player game.
Sorry.
So these guys played Flamme Rouge. Was it 10 players?
It was full 10. No, it was 8 players.
8 players.
8 players of Flamme Rouge.
16 bikes on the track.
So I want to give a big shout. I can't remember his name, but I want to give a big shout to him. The gentleman, if he's listening, he knows who he is. He basically had a 3D. He had a copy of Flamme Rouge, and he has got specific height. Like
to be the hill on the
for
track.
the hill. So if this is this specific hill, he's got the hill and the uphills and the overhills and bridges and
it looks really cool.
And so we play. So Damon and I
were
pulled
like 2 tables together for it. 10 people around this table.
Like, and if you've ever played Flamme Rouge, it is bonkers at 4 or 5 because every player controls 2 bike riders. So at 8 players, we had 16 riders on the board.
You know what's crazy is the game took a long time because I looked at the table. I walked away for 20 minutes, looked at the table. They moved half as 30 centimeters down the track.
To be fair, the game time did increase because
10 players.
Well, it was 10 players, but also Nee and I were regularly getting up to teach games in between. So there were a few stops. Like for instance, I taught Pass the Party Food and That's Not a Hat.
I taught Cockroach Poker at one point. There's a few of them going on.
Like we were getting up and doing some admin things as well. Because it also did happen at kind of like peak afternoon.
Yeah, it was like
come
at
back
4
from lunch.
3 o'clock, 2 o'clock time in the afternoon.
But still, yes, it did take a long time.
That was a highlight.
Because all right, so everyone plays their cards. We do it all in order, and then we go, okay, so you get slipstream, you don't get slipstream, and it's just and then you trying to move all these bikes in a bunch. It
was bonkers in the best
silly.
possible. Like it was, I will admit, it was one of the best things seeing the bikes go up and over, and I was like, it was super cool because there was a lot of some people who hadn't played the game before and they're just learning, and then the people who had played the game before were like, I can't get through. This is absolute bullcrap, and it was great. So
you would have had great moments to play fatigue cards, I imagine, because there's so many riders on the track.
It's really funny because I actually found out that at 10 players, you want fatigue cards.
Yeah.
Because I ran out of cards. At the line, I ran out of cards.
Well, maybe that was just the length of the track.
No, it was standard track.
Because you kept getting blocked.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you wanted those fatigue cards.
Interesting.
It was super like I won the race, but I only won it because I got to the front and I was just copping fatigue cards. So by the end of the game, I literally had to push my final dude across. We ended on the uphill, so there was no slipstreaming. So I just knew I'm just going to fall across the line and hope to God that I was far enough, and it happened to be one space enough that I was able to get there. Right, but it was that moment of legitimately, we had 3 people didn't finish the race.
Yeah, I finished at the line.
At the line, because he didn't have no more cards, so that rider technically now is, faints or whatever, and they didn't make it to the end of the road. So
what's really cool about a game day like ours, I spent most of the day at our games library, not the checkout as well.
Yeah.
And people were coming back returning games, sharing stories like that as to what happened.
Yeah.
Just go, how was your game? And they're like, oh, this happened. And I was like, it was just so cool knowing that we were able to facilitate that and teach that game to people, and then they have that positive experience that they wouldn't have otherwise had.
During that game, one of the games I did get up to teach was That's Not a Hat, and that was hilarious.
I love that.
So it was dad and two kids, and I jumped in as well because I was explaining to them. I said, look, the easiest way for me to teach this game is just to play around with you guys. Mm-hmm. And I did the usual. A fork did not appear at all.
Yeah, you just lie about something.
It's a fork. Yeah. And the kid's looking at me, and you can tell, I think it was just out of sheer politeness. He's just gone,
yes.
Okay. And then he's passed it to his brother. He goes, it's a fork. I think it's not a fork. But he told me it was a fork. And I said, that's the game.
And that's the game.
I think a lot of it with kids, it's like, why would an adult lie to me?
Well, look,
Too
that
trusting.
yeah, exactly right. Look, that was a review of B3GD Winter 2024. We are bringing it back next year, and for summer 2025, it is going ahead again on the 11th of January, I believe is the date.
Yes.
We don't have the website up yet, but we will be pimping it a bit more. So if you're in the Sydney area, or you're in even as far down as Canberra, which is only realistically is only a 2.5 hour drive, we highly recommend it is our game day, but everyone that we've talked to so far literally says there are not many things like this. It's literally a full day of games. You get to come in. We will help teach you games. You can play. It's family friendly. And we hope to do these a lot more into the future because we really have only just started and we can see this community that we really enjoy putting together.
Just say quickly, we've purposely picked that date for a reason. School holidays, big one.
2 weeks before CanCon
I was
is
going
the
to say,
other one.
it's a taster for CanCon.
It
So
is.
if anyone is pumped about CanCon, I would say come to our game day first.
Yeah, we did it specifically because we didn't want
You can come on the way to Canberra.
Yeah,
absolutely right.
hang out for a day and then go to CanCon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So anyway, we were going to move from that now. We're going to move on to our gateway game of the week, which we haven't done one in nearly 4 podcasts because we've had so many interviews and stuff.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop you there.
Oh, please do.
I looked up when we last had a gateway
Oh, God.
game.
Yeah, well, let me guess.
This is episode 59. Guess the episode.
54.
Lower.
Oh, no. Is it 52?
Lower.
Oh, no. We've only done one on 51.
It's 52.
It is 52.
It's 52.
Jeez. Okay. This is, okay. At the beginning of the season. Yeah, all right. Sorry.
Actually, no. It's lower.
Oh, God. Is it 50?
It's like 49.
Oh, no.
It's not even this season.
Oh, God.
What are we doing?
Look, I tell you what we have been doing. We have a lot of blood on the clock now.
Yes, we do.
That's come
We do,
out.
yes,
That's
yes.
been one of the big things. Anyway, so I'm going to let Damien explain why this is our gateway game of the week, because there's actually a story as how we've come to get this game and why, why we're actually super excited to cover this game.
So, Pasta Party Food is what has been graciously donated to us by Joey Games. For those who don't know, Joey Games is a brand new Australian publishing company, and it is owned by their lead designer, Phil Walker-Harding. Yes, the same Phil Walker-Harding who
Barron
brought us
Park, Sushi Go,
Barron Park, Sushi Go,
other games.
Archaeology is another really good one. Bunch of games out there. So at PlayCon, Phil actually had a stall there for Joey Games. And he had the 3 games there. So there's Pasta Party Food, Scribbly Gum, and I'm going to find out the third one in between someone else talking because I cannot remember the name of it. But essentially, they represent a trio of games. Busy Beaks, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a trio of games. It was a Kickstarter that happened last year. I walked past the stall, and what intrigued me about these games is that they are reasonably lightweight, very family friendly. In fact, on the side of the box, on this one anyway, it says 7+. I know one of them says 6+. I think it's Busy Beaks is actually targeted at preschool.
I do believe
kindergarten age.
I believe he basically said that he wants the games to be able to play. He wants to be able to play games with his kids.
That's it. Yeah, that's what's really it. So all of these games are targeted at families, and they're all slightly different. So Pasta Party Food is a co-op. Busy Beaks is sort of like more competitive. And Scribbly Gum is competitive again, but it's actually
like a real-time one or something, isn't it?
No. It's very close to like a roll.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Sort of thing. Yeah. It's just there is no rolling. That doesn't have a dice, but it is like you do write and such on there.
Cool.
So had a chat. I had a couple chats with Phil. Explained to him what we were doing and how our game day was targeted at families, and he loved it. He said it was a great idea. Asked me to send him an email. I did that. I'll be perfectly honest. I wasn't expecting to hear anything back. I mean, Phil's super busy. I was
just being nice on the day.
Hey,
look, just send me an email.
It was great, and I thought
smashing some lamingtons.
Yeah. and look, and I'm not saying this because I'm being dismissive of Phil or anything. Not at all. I'm forever grateful for him sending out these games to us. But it's just, I know he's busy.
So take that with a grain of salt with what you're about to hear what we think about the game. So knowing that
Yeah.
he sent them to us free of charge, he didn't say we had to cover them. He didn't even say that you didn't have to be positive about it.
No.
But just know that we were giving it for free. So use
Yes.
that with what you will going
So,
forward.
and then he responded and he said, yeah, look, send me an address. I'll happily send you a couple of games. And, but yeah, and please show them off on the game day and let me know what people did and what people think. And I did. I told them that the games were popular. They were borrowed out, and I did get to teach both of them on the game day. But Pass the Party Food as a game, what it is like I said, it's a co-op game, and the goal of the game is we represent kids in the 1980s at a kid's birthday party. Hence the type of food that you see on the front of the box. We have our lamingtons, we have our fairy bread, our snakes, our jam biscuits, and I still don't know what these are called.
There's hundreds and thousands.
So you know what's
That's
cool?
literally
Hundreds of
that's what they're
thousands.
called.
The
at the moment.
rule book of this game actually has a little blurb of every
It
food.
does, yeah.
All right, you're
It
going to
does.
need to go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@BG Gateway. Have a look at this image that is showing on screen right now of this particular party food, okay? And I would like you to write a comment down below to tell me what is the name of this party food. I think it's hundreds of thousands.
I'm gonna add just a disclaimer here. My background's Portuguese, so my kids' birthday parties didn't have this. We had cheeses and salamis and stuff. So
You know what, Damo?
Anyway.
I'm a wog too.
Anyway.
But I still went to Aussie birthday parties,
Okay.
and it was
All right,
all
anyway,
this,
but
and
look-
hot chips, and hot chips.
And hot chips, yeah.
Leave
So-
your comment down below of what you think it is. Let's get back on with the
So
game.
like I said, premise of the game is a co-op, and we're all trying to get to the end of a row which contains a birthday cake. So we have this track that we are trying to climb up, and the way we climb that track is by collecting either rows or columns, so essentially sets. So it's a set collection game of various pieces of food. How do we get that food? Quite simply, on our turn, we will be drawing one tile at a time, up to 3 tiles from the bag. And as we draw them, we have to pick. Do we want to pass it to our left, keep it, or pass it to our right?
Once you lock it in, you lock it in. You can't
in.
change your mind once the next one comes out.
And we hand out the tiles, and that's pretty much it. The other thing we are doing on our turn is we are dishing out tiles for Ziggy, who is the dog. Ziggy is the dog that we are trying to make sure we stay away from. If he catches even one of us, it is game over.
So Ziggy is like stealing food at the party.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes. And so Ziggy also has his own board, and he too is moving up the board based on points. But the sets that he has, and Ralph, if you wouldn't mind holding up the board.
Yeah, sure thing.
They look a lot like ours, except instead it's 4 columns, and columns typically do score more points for the most part. He only needs 3 items to complete a column, whereas we need 4. In addition, Ziggy takes a turn on every player turn. So in a 4-player game like we had, he actually has 4 turns around. And that's pretty much it. So if he happens to complete a row or a column, he moves up that many spaces. If he catches anyone, it's game over. The other thing we have in this game to try and mitigate Ziggy's progress is we have take tokens. We all get 1 of each, and these are single use, and it allows us to take an item off of Ziggy's board. We also have swap tokens, which is what we can use to swap tokens at any time. These are free actions between each other. Yes. The game's super lightweight. It is absolutely family friendly. I have played this with my kids. We had a ball. I really like the game because now I'm going to say frankly, I don't like set collection games. I think for more hobby level board games, the heavier games, I find set collection to just be a bit of a lazy mechanic. But in a kid's game, particularly a co-op one, thoroughly enjoyed it because it's a game that my kids can understand. They go, okay, so I need 5 tiles of different type. Great, go. Or I need 4 lamingtons. And you have them yelling at the table going, no, give me the lamington. Don't take it. Give me, because if I get it, then I can put it here and then I can move up that many spaces. The mechanics in this game made sense to them very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And they understood that they were trying to stay away from Ziggy. fantastic. Look, like I said during our playthrough, and please go and watch our playthrough. Phil, in my opinion, is the master of making accessible games that have depth. I told him as much on the game day, and I thanked him because my youngest tends to only want to play his games. It's just how it's happened. Barren Park and Sushi Go are two of his
My
favorite
7-year-old
games.
loves Barren Park.
So,
he loves it.
yeah. So, look, I think the game's great. What do you guys think of the game?
Well, I agree with you. I actually found myself really enjoying this game. It is right. So the statistics on the bot, not statistics. The the information on the box is 7+, 2 to 4 players at 30 minutes, and I found it was pretty smack bang on 30 minutes for us when we did our play.
Rare for games too.
Yeah, it was actually right. And this is a game that is designed for, honestly, this is a game designed for around that 7 to 10 range.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that we didn't have a lot of fun. Like, obviously, as a hobbyist level gamer, like, you're probably not going to pick this one off for your game night. But if you have younger kids and you've got people that you maybe even want to introduce to board gaming, this is a perfect introductory game to play because for two reasons. One, it's co-op, and as we all know, I'm not the biggest co-op person here in the game in the group. However, I really did enjoy the fact that at its core, as you said, we're running away from Ziggy. So we actually lost the game. We were very close. We were super close to winning this game, but Ziggy caught us just on the end. But we had a couple of moments where we were all discussing and going, well, we need to get Ralph and Lamington, so let's risk it a little bit because he's not going to get there yet, but we shouldn't use our swap tokens because we've got limited tokens. And we had this little interesting banter going where we are, four gentlemen, and I'm sitting here going, this is for 7+, and I'm going, God, I really want to beat Ziggy. I want to get to the cake, and I really dig it. I think I will admit when I first saw his games at PlayCon as well when we were there, I was very much like, oh, I can tell this is going to be probably right up our alley. And it didn't make me as a gamer go, oh, I want to get it for me. But as soon as I played it, I'm like, I want this for my daughter. She would love this. This is absolutely perfect to play as a family. This is what we've referred to lovingly before. I would say it's a tea game. Those games where you can get a cup of tea and you could put it out there and we could have a chat. Well,
and a Lamington.
And a Lamington, absolutely right.
Yeah.
And if you go,
whatever that is.
Absolutely. If you go and watch our Let's Play, which is on our channel, so we'll have a Let's Play this video out as well. You can actually see us as we were playing. We were actually having a lot of moments where we were actually having a great chat. We were chatting, laughing whilst playing the game at the same time, and that's not a detriment to the game. This is one of those games that sparked us talking about Lamingtons and talking about party
reminiscing about an Aussie birthday party.
Absolutely, and I really dug it for the for the vibe that he's going for in the game that he's got here. Yeah, there's a lot of replayability here because it's like, yes, it's the same thing over and over again, but at the same, the challenge comes from the randomness of pulling the tiles out, but at the same time, you're trying to mitigate that by going, should I swap now? Should I take now? And all that.
Yeah, when do we use it? I personally typically play games more for the enjoyment of playing it with people. Mm-hmm. So I typically don't play games quite as heavy or games that you would sort of sit by yourself and do your own board. I found this was really good. Interaction level was quite high. It's like every single turn, I've got to look at Ralph's board, I've got to look at your board and mine, where's Ziggy at? And even though you're not involved in that particular turn, you're still like, oh, maybe we could use a swap. Or everyone was very involved and I really enjoyed that part of it. I think another good takeaway for it as well, just the build style for the game. 7 to 10-year-olds are going to be playing this. I know myself, I've got a 6-year-old. They tend to bend cards and break things and that sort of stuff. These are all very thick, very sturdy tiles, very easy. Everything is quite solid. Even the pieces are quite thick wooden pieces.
Yeah,
I'm not
no kid's going to choke on that, surely.
Keep it away, keep it.
I'm not worried that I'm going to have to buy 6 copies of this.
I will say I totally agree with you when you say the player board and how one of the problems that sometimes when you introduce a player board to people is that they can just look down and never look up, whereas this one you are forced to look up and go, okay, Ralph is only 2 spaces away from Ziggy. We've got to try and get him completed. What do you got? What have you got? And that was those moments of looking around the table, which I think you're absolutely 100% correct. It does it perfectly.
And I think knowing that majority of the people that are going to play this are going to play this with their kids and then using relatable things. Like, kids know what fairy bread is. Kids know what a snake's lolly is. And the terms like the lucky dip and using the dog and little things like that, I think it's going to be very easy for them to understand. It's not too over the top. It's not too busy. It just gets to the point. And
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Ruff?
I have to be the critical one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have to be the. No, I'm kidding.
It should have been blue on the board.
So
There is a blue birthday candle
I
right
do-
Yeah,
there.
that's true. That's true.
look, I love the idea of a kid actually not just playing their tableau. They have to look at other players and see how can I help you. I think that's a really valuable thing for a kid to start learning empathy, like a little bit like, oh, how do you feel? Like you don't have any Lemingtons, like, or whatever. But when I first saw this track, it has like all 4 pieces. It didn't feel like a co-op game when I initially saw it. Because it looks like, oh, okay, well, that just looks like the blue person won the game.
end.
You know, it looks like a race to the cake. But it was interesting to see how we can climb up. But I can see some kids getting a little bit confused saying, I got to the cake. How can I? What do you mean I don't win yet? But I think it's really good. 7 plus is the right age because that's where you can teach them enough to learn how these 3 plates work.
Yep.
And things like that. I do have a real criticism, though. There's no red snake. What is going on? They've got a green snake on a green background. I want a red snake.
I'm
I
grateful.
disagree.
I'm grateful that there's no red licorice.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
okay, so
yes.
it gets bonus points for me just because there's no red licorice.
But I tell you,
here.
like they got the food spot on. I think it's a fantastic game. I really, really like it. It made me excited to see Fairy Bread again. And I reckon within the next week, I'm consuming at least one of these things in real life.
I will say one of the cool things that we always, like, we actually were focusing a lot of the time on looking at Ziggy's board, as we've said.
That was fun too.
But the other mechanic, which is great about this, is that if you can clear the horizontal line rather than a vertical line, everything pushes up. And same thing with Ziggy.
Yeah.
So we had a few moments where we were literally like, Ralph needs to move now because if that line completes, it is immediately game over. And we were able to work the boards all correctly in a way of being able to move us.
I don't know if you guys have played many games of a game like Pandemic where one card flip ruins the game.
Yeah.
Or like it could make the game over. I felt that level of
It's a good tension.
tension.
Yeah.
In this game, and it's something so simple of just 3 tiles and saying the third one ends the game. A kid's going to recognize that and really get worried as to what comes out of that bag.
But
you know?
unlike games like Pandemic, and this is like a major criticism because I know Pandemic doesn't take that long to play, but in games where there is that level of tension, you're not sitting at a table for an hour plus with a kid.
No, but think about this.
Yeah,
For a kid,
I'm saying
this is the right level.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can reload and go again.
I don't know any kids game, like not even Sushi Go. Like I played a game of Sushi Go recently with a kid who's never played it before. He absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
He wanted to dive right back in, but there's no other kids game for me that has that tension.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100. Look, it's a big thumbs up from all of us here. And given that we actually played it before the podcast as well, just to kind of refresh our memories and make sure that, this was Damo's taught it and played with his kids. This was a fresh play for me.
Same. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. And
First time for me too.
And that's the thing. We learned how to play this game in less than 5 minutes, but we can all see the depth and just how this is aimed at the demographic that it is aimed at, and I can definitely say that this is certainly worth it. I think the Joey games are also priced really, really well here in Australia.
Yeah,
as well.
I don't quote me on the price. Certainly go check the website, but I know their Kickstarter, they had all 3 games heavily discounted.
Yeah.
With delivery.
Yeah, so I would go check it because I remember you saying as well, one of them was like, we were looking at it going, oh my God, I can't believe they were
What?
like...
Yeah.
I'm going to say the price now
Yeah,
because
go for
I'm very impressed. That's $13.
Yeah.
13.
What can you
13,
do for 30 minutes that costs $13 for 4 kids?
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
can't make dinner for that much.
No, Coles don't even do the $10 dinners anymore.
So,
That's
I
insane.
know. I know when I was.
You can't even buy all these things for $13.
I know when I was
I can get a
briefly.
cake.
Yeah, I know when I was briefly talking to Phil, like there are little things that they've done on the game, both for environmental reasons, but also to try and keep the costs down. Like the game doesn't come in shrink; it just comes with sticky tabs on the side.
A lot of games do that nowadays.
But again, it's like they are being quite conscious,
Environmentally friendly. They're also trying to keep the costs down.
That's right. Yeah. And these meeples, they're just
they're good.
They're just
They're
just
good.
a little milled piece of wood.
That's
with
right.
a Coat of spray paint on
I
it.
mean, you could argue they're fairly
But
generic.
you know what?
But
You
it's
said this
fine.
is like an 80s birthday party. These are like 80s board game pieces.
They
are, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So look, Joey Games has done a fantastic game, a fantastic thing here, in my opinion. Phil has another brilliant design here. Look, definitely go check it out. Check out Joey Games. If you get the opportunity to play this, play it. Otherwise, by all means, please go pick it up. $13.
Yeah, so I highly recommend supporting them. He's doing a really
you should
good
buy
thing
2
here.
copies for $13.
Yeah.
That price, jeez.
Look,
Keep
yeah,
one for yourself and gift it to someone
I
else.
will be picking
yeah.
up a copy.
Absolutely, like this is the
100%,
perfect game to be putting on like a bookcase. It's a perfect game to at $13. This is actually such a good stuffing stocker. Like it won't fit in.
It needs a big
I
stocking.
need a big stocking because but like this is the perfect like thing you could give to a kid for a birthday or
Like Santa,
a
you let
present,
yourself
something
go.
Someone that sticks out the top.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was Pass the Party Food by Joey Games, and that is a big thumbs up from us here at the Board Game Gateway. So anyway, that's going to bring us towards the end of our podcast now. We're going to start to close this one out. So I would like to give a big shout out to you, Joel. Thank you very much for coming and joining us this evening.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure, and thank you very much for sponsoring our event. And we hopefully look forward to working with you again in the next one, which is going to be in the summer of 2025.
But also quickly, Joel, just end of the podcast. Is there anything you would like to say to our viewers? By all means, please take the opportunity to plug Mega Mini Golf.
Of course. Next time you're in the Campbelltown area, if you want a good experience for you and the family, or you got a bunch of friends that you want to come down with, all ages, all sizes, definitely come down. We give you discounts if you come in groups. You can book online for free with no deposit. Definitely recommend checking us out at megaminigolf.com.au. Quick Google, Facebook, anywhere you can find us. We'd love to have you in.
My son loves Mega Mini Golf. And actually, I
kids
will
do
say
too.
the latest thing that you guys have started doing as well, which actually my family loves. So we were waiting for a couple, and then we played the mini golf pool that was out in the sun, and also played a game of the Mini Golf Connect 4 that he's got up there. So you have to hit the ball up the
we
ramp.
haven't covered Connect 4 on this podcast before.
So you have to hit the ball up the ramp, and you have to get it into the right lane, and then then it rolls back down. You've got the Connect 4 board on the floor, so you can see the balls as they roll in.
Oh, nice.
So they absolutely
You
love
do
that.
parties as well. Like, do you also
we
feature
absolutely-
these party foods or?
Not these ones. We generally do pizza for the most part.
You do ice cream.
We
cake,
do
though.
give you an ice cream cake. That is
sick,
correct.
yeah.
Love that.
We actually just finished a bunch of renovations on the course, so everything is looking fresh, nice and colourful. But yeah, it's good. Like the whole team down there is awesome. If you ever get a chance to and you're in the area, or come down if you're not, it's definitely worth the trip.
It's one of the best mini golf. Well, I think it is one of the best mini golfs in the area. I love the theme because you've got the pirate theme followed by the Egyptian theme and then the Wild West theme, which is always good. Although I will say a hole 18 sucks. It sucks balls.
What's
hole 18? It's a straight line. It's a straight line shot, but they have a barrel that it has a little hole, but it's a good 4 meters from the initial thing. But you have to hit it, and if you hit it straight into the thing, it goes up. It loops and drops into the barrel and then gives you a hole in one.
It's such a frustrating one, right? Because you look at it and you're like, all I have to do is hit it straight.
And
there's no tricky things to get around. A straight shot and I'll get this.
It's a 90-degree bend, by the way. So if
I
you
know some really good golfers. I should take them down just to see what happens.
We have people that come in to practice their putting.
Also, hole 7 can get stuffed. The first hole of the Egyptian theme is basically, it's again a straight line shot with a ramp, but the hole is just at the top of the ramp. So if you hit it too hard, it goes boop and then rolls all the way back. And you're like, it's just there. I can hit this in.
I'll give you some solace. We kept about 200 scorecards in a row.
Oh, did you?
That is genuinely the hole that everybody struggles on.
Absolutely, because everyone always...
You're not alone.
Oh, no. It's good.
That'll be interesting. Like, the nerd in me is going on here. So you got data of over 200 games.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, which course, let's say hole 7 is the worst course for everyone. Do you make an effort to make it easier at that point?
So we definitely make adjustments. It helps us because, say for example, the first hole in the course, everybody gets it within 2 shots.
Yeah, okay.
But the hole after that, people typically take 5 shots. So we know that's a bit of a bottleneck, and like how to like.
Because you want people's confidence to grow and then dip, right? Like, and then obviously peak at the end.
Absolutely.
He shatters their confidence by hole 18.
We have definitely thought about like the whole experience, right? You don't want to do the hardest hole first, you get deflated, then you're over it, right? So we ease them into it. The course progressively, the Wild West at the end is the hardest section.
Yeah, okay.
And their scorecards reflect that.
The jump, the
cool.
jump.
Yeah, we like to ease you in. You feel like you're doing really good, and then we just crush your soul in the
Absolutely.
See, I've never thought about this, but this is legit.
Yeah. This is an actual, yeah.
No, you absolutely, and also you also made a good point. The flow rate of like you don't want to have a group of 6 just banking up a group of 2.
Right. Yes.
And
Yes.
But there's a whole bunch of really cool things. The place it's a great fun. It's like I take my kids there every school holiday, so they're like, Dad, can we go mini golf this holidays? Yes, we'll go back to mini golf.
A big focus for us, like compared to other mini golf places, and they're all great. Don't get me wrong. I've been to a lot of them. They all have their niche, but for us, it was like I'm really into mini golf personally, right? And you might like mini golf, but Grandma's probably just going because the kids wanted to go.
Yeah.
And maybe like Dad really liked it, but Mum didn't. Or maybe you've got a 10-year-old who loves it, but a 3-year-old who doesn't get it yet. So there's other things to do. You can come in. We've got some Scrabble tiles hitting around. They spell a different word every
My daughter
day.
loves that. She's like, oh my God, they're Scrabble tiles. What are they? Where are they? What do they say? I want to know.
We have lucky door prizes. Like if you just happen to get a particular number we picked for the day, you get a little dock. You might win a free game.
Free ball.
There's something for everybody included, even if you're not into the mini golf. It's a good group activity.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
So if you're in the Macarthur area, the Campbelltown area, make sure you go and check out Mega Mini Golf. That's megaminigolf.com.au. So go and check them out. Thank you so much for joining us. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, we will hopefully you stay safe, and we'll see you then on episode 60. So until then, my name is Neba. That's Ralph. That's Damien, our special guest Joel. See you later. We'll take care and bye.
Bye.